It's been a dominant season so far for Bradley Holly, stealing 4 of the 6 wins through the opening rounds. Now, though, as the season draws closer and closer to an end, will anyone be able to draw closer to Holly in the points? Maybe it'll be tonight as we take these trucks off their comfortable bed of asphalt banking and throw them into a ring of dirt, where we might see someone tip the scales of momentum in their direction. We're about to find out as the Precision Racing League NASCAR Truck Series goes dirt racing from Eldora Speedway, and you'll see it all live here on the Global SimRacing Channel. Up in the booth tonight, it's yours truly, Nick Schmeg, and I'm being joined alongside by Adam Lindgren. Sean Crackers Ambrose will be directing the show tonight, and as always, he'll be using cameras provided by Dougie Beard. Adam, this is a fan favorite, but depending on who's out here, it's not always a driver favorite. Tell us what these asphalt drivers have coming for them this evening.
Yeah, a very different and difficult driving surface is what's on order tonight, Nick. Located just east of the Indiana-Ohio border, this new Weston track is a half mile or 0.8 of a kilometer of muddy dirt chaos. And for those truckers who have not raced on the dirt before, it is likely nothing like they expected it to be. About preservation of momentum, being careful to not only put in the inputs you need, arcing your corners and choosing your lines to save precious tenths, but with an opening turns 1 and 2 and closing turns 3 and 4, and 20 plus trucks shredding and packing the mud, this dirt track will clay up very quickly, reducing overall grip and leading to most drivers likely opting to ride the cushion, or riding the packed dirt near the walls, being the preferred strategy. This would mean any passes would be in the form of literal slide jobs at that point in the race, making track position extremely important tonight. Well, rather than tackle all the intricacies of dirt oval racing in explanation, let's have you experience it by taking a ride around Eldora Speedway in a NASCAR Gander Outdoor Series truck in our GSRC lap guide.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Global Sim Racing Channel. I'm Brian Yazik, taking you for a spin around the Eldora Speedway and the GSRC Chevrolet Silverado. So without further ado, here we go. Dirt is out, dirt is here, and it is sweeping the iRacing community, that's for sure. It's driving these big old trucks around and slinging the mud and getting these things sideways is all sorts of fun. There's really not going to be a clear guide here because what's going to happen is the track is going to change so much in the race. So where I'm going right here in turn 1, towards the end of the race, you're probably going to see a lot of trucks up there because the groove is going to move up there. With dirt, you're constantly chasing where the grip is at. Here in turns 3 and 4, you see, kind of ride it right up there next to the fence, trying to come down just a little bit and get a straight shot off of that corner. You're never fully into the throttle all the way. At best, you're probably 85% with dirt. So there you go, sweeping it through turn 2 there, down this very short backstretch. This is only a half-mile track, so this is a very unique experience for these trucks. Braking is completely different on dirt as well because in traditional oval, you're using the brake to slow the truck down. In dirt, you're using it to help it turn. So it takes a whole different mindset to get around a dirt track in these big trucks. So here we go, back through 3 and 4, one more time. Getting it right up next to the fence, kicking it sideways, bringing it down, and across the line. And that is going to complete our track guide here around the Eldora Speedway in the GSRC Silverado. I'm Brian Yazik. Enjoy the show.
And that lap guide, as well as this entire broadcast, is brought to you once again by our awesome season-long sponsor, Established Traffic Control. Founded in 2005, Established Traffic Control is a leader in traffic control and traffic safety in the state of Pennsylvania through maintaining great relationships and providing exceptional customer service. In addition to being able to provide all you need for traffic safety, ETC makes custom signs, from street signs to company logos and everything in between. These custom signs make great gifts and wall decor. You have a design, ETC can make it, and shipping is available. For more information, visit establishedtraffic.com or email Brendan Chatley at bchatley@establishedtraffic.com. Hey, they will even do their work on dirt roads for you as well, so they are very much relevant tonight as we are at the first dirt race in quite some time for the Precision Racing League NASCAR Truck Series. Watching, not much on-track action right now, but practice wrapping up as some of the drivers discussing in the chat right now their drivers meeting. Definitely a lot to go over tonight because of this being such a different race. So, Adam, why don't you give our viewers some of the race details?
Definitely, yeah. So we have 100 laps tonight at Eldora Speedway. This is round 7 of 10 for this season. So season's wrapping up, actually. We have 100 laps around here, which is 50 miles, but with laps being at or around 20 seconds or below that a little bit, those laps are going to tick off fast, but don't expect it to be a clean race. We have the Silverado and the Tundra racing with us tonight, and we have fixed setups, 85% fuel, so likely that these guys are going to have to take a pit stop at least one during the course of this race, which is actually kind of interesting around here at Eldora. And the incident cap is 30, and you may think that's high enough, but you can rack up incidents pretty quick around here at Eldora, Nick.
Yeah, absolutely. And to make matters worse, it looks like here in the session, in the official iRacing session, they've changed it to 24 incident points
Oh
as a
boy.
maximum. So that's going to definitely put some pressure on some guys. Yeah, the one thing about dirt racing here on iRacing is instead of getting a 4x for heavy contact, everything here in dirt gets cut in half. So you'll only get two. A 2x would obviously be a 1x. And under that, that's basically all you can get. That being said, a lot of contact in every single turn for 100 laps. That will definitely rack up. Thankfully, though, they don't have to worry about their off tracks, seeing as though they would all be disqualified pretty quickly. You mentioned the season wrapping up as well. Brendan Chatley sits pretty comfortably in the points right now, but as we take a look at the driver's points there, you see Bradley Holly there on top by 27 points over the rest of the field right now. Braden Johnson there in second with one win earlier this year. 37 points back as Thomas Sink, Rob Haynes, Mitchell Clark. They're still down there on the outskirts. They would need some pretty significant runs at this point, I think, to really put up a fight against Bradley Holly. But the team's championship as well, Adam, is also going on, and at least at the top, it's a little bit closer.
Yeah, definitely a little bit closer between the two Woodaback teams. Fat and Furious leads Back Row Racing by 19 points. Those two Woodaback teams in the lead with good, strong races this year. Hard Knocks Sim Sports 46 points back. They're kind of out of reach at this point in the season unless something really bad happens to the two front running teams, and that's going to be difficult. They lost a spot to Woodaback Back Row Racing in the last race, which is significant because both Lane and Sink had wreckouts, I believe, in that last race that we had. Woodaback Pavement Puppies 60 points behind with Haynes and Chatley, and Gray Riders gaining a position to be on our screens now in fifth with Bassan and Champagne 69 points behind.
I hope the pavement puppies does not mean that Haynes and Chatley can't race on dirt. Hopefully they put up a good showing here tonight. I was wondering if we would get any kind of oddball names. Sometimes when you go to a road course, you get the road course ringers towards the top of the field. But right now in qualifying, not many times have come in. But so far, Bradley Holly's right back on top.
Yeah, these qualifying times are a lot slower than the times they were running in practice earlier. That's because they carried over the track state between practice and qualifying, which means that this riding of the cushion up here at the top that we see from Robert Wassau Jr. and the like, this is going to be the fastest way around the track, I believe. Everyone trying a little bit of a different line. Bradley Holly trying a lower line, but that didn't work out for him, so he's just going to park it. Brandon Walter, though, taking... Wow, he actually took a time faster than Bradley Holly. That's going to put him on pole right now.
It will indeed. And he even improves on that second lap, it looks like. Gregory Dice coming along here. Was pretty fast in practice. He was in the 19-second range as well.
Yeah, Gregory Dice taking a very different line going on that low groove there around Eldora, and that's a different line than everyone's taking right now with the current track state, but let's see what kind of a lap time that puts him in.
Yeah, it's going to put him in fourth right now. Pretty good for the driver there in the 57 truck.
Taking a look at Colton Lane going around now. He's trying to pick his line. Austin Hunter up on the wall there a little bit. Some of those wall hits don't actually give you X's, so they can actually make time a little bit with bouncing off the wall some, but you got to be careful because iRacing could be fairly fickle and not give you exactly the line that
Yes.
you're looking for.
It's got to be pretty significant contact with the wall sometimes. Austin Hunter's gone up to 4th place. Comes Brendan Chatley, out of the great dirt racing state of Pennsylvania.
Yeah, and if you're taking a look at this truck, you can see on the front they've actually got a little bit of a windscreen there attached to the front hood, and that's to protect the actual windscreen from getting clobbered by mud and by dirt. And Chatley clobbering the outside wall there, that's gonna make his lap time probably not count this time. We'll see whether or not it does. No, it does not. Yeah, he just hit it a little bit too hard.
Josh Daniels coming along here, really riding the outside groove. All the way up on the podium, up to 3rd. Bob McFarland coming along here as well on his qualifying lap. Now, Adam, you mentioned the track state changing back to a, I guess you could call it a green track here on the dirt. It's basically where the dirt is not really touched at all. No cushion has been formed. A lot of these drivers, they might be fast here in qualifying, but then it's going to feel like an entirely new track once the race begins.
Yeah, they're gonna have a lot more traction, but also it's gonna be a lot bumpier for them because the dirt is going to be moving around. iRacing simulates the dirt very, very convincingly. A lot of guys have mentioned that. And so it's one of those things where if you haven't driven in the dirt and realize that the conditions can change like that, you're in for a rough time if you're not careful. As we watch Jean-Francois Champagne take a couple more laps around.
Qualifying times being set here, less than 30 seconds left in the session.
You're going to see a lot of drivers getting loose around here, and that's just the way that you race in the dirt. But there's a certain threshold you kind of cross over if you get a little bit too loose, where you start to lose speed and lose traction through the corner. You saw that on the onboard with Champagne there.
That is going to do it for qualifying. It's going to be Brandon Walter stealing the pole away, 2/10 quicker than Bradley Holly there, making up the front row. After that, Josh Daniels, Robert Basaw Jr. going to be making up 3rd and 4th place. 5th place going to go to Austin Hunter. He's going to be joined alongside row number 3 by Greg Dice. Mitchell Clark and Jake Hounshell will comprise row number 4, with row number 5 going to Robert Malikian and Thomas Sink.
Jean-Francois Champagne, the guy we were just watching, is going to start on row 6 alongside Mike Richter in the 12th position. Jason Hounshell is going to be in the Baker's dozen slot alongside Brendan Chatley. Adam Zemke in 15th alongside Nicholas Hunter in row 8. Robert McFarland in 17th with John LeBaff in 18th alongside him, with Colton Lane in 19th position and Nicholas McGeethy in the 20th position. And it looks like he's not joining us right now.
And that's where you get to the drivers that did not set a qualifying time here. Justin Sick in 21st, Braden Johnson 22nd, Will Rogers and Charles Sumner make up row 12, with Rob Haynes tentatively rounding out this 25-truck field. Right now, the drivers gridding up on the very small, tight, narrow pit road here. More of just hanging out in the infield right now. Getting ready to go. But they do have pit boxes lined up, and you did mention they do have a fuel limit, so we'll see if that comes into play later with pit stops, which would be really unique here for dirt racing.
Yeah, and take a look at that track. It's very fresh, very new. We don't have that pack on the pack along the outside wall, so these drivers are going to have a lot more options as far as places to go to find speed in the first couple of opening laps. And with track position being the name of the game, especially as that pack really gets built up on the outside of the racetrack and you start having to prefer that outside line, these guys are going to be looking to make moves early.
Couple of pace laps around here, following the truck, which is a lot higher off the ground here than most of these race trucks behind them.
purpose-built race trucks compared to a purpose-built off-road vehicle that is used for commercials, purchases and commercial use. So that I think that's a. I'm not sure what model of truck that is actually.
Looks like a Silverado. Yeah. Well, we've got some Silverados back in the field, but none of them are on the front row. That's a couple of Toyota Tundras. Brad Holly on the outside and Brandon Walter on the inside. We'll see which lane they want to be in here as the race begins. It's 100 laps. It's going to go by quickly. We'll see how clean they can keep it. Mind the dirt. Green flag is out. Brandon Walters on the loud pedal. You could already see those trucks, the back end, step out of them. They head into turn one, sliding as we go dirt racing here in the PRL NASCAR Truck Series.
See a lot of 3 wide, a lot of 4 wide around this track, but the guys at the back are struggling to get going as well. But look at that, Bradley Hawley taking that high line, really getting a good run out of the corner. He's going to take it over Brandon Walter as we come back onto the backstretch here.
Holly keeps that lead for now, then Walter second. Back in third is where it gets really dicey. Josh Daniels on the outside. You can see guys like Austin Hunter have gone down to the far inside line. Robert Malikian is down there as well, trying to gain some traction. That ground up dirt that hasn't really been used yet might be good here in the beginning stages of the race, and they are definitely making use of that very bottom groove.
This is not a group of experienced dirt track drivers, so you're going to see a lot of squirming, a lot of squirreling, a lot of guys making contact, losing traction. This is just going to be the name of the game tonight until these guys can get their feet under them. But man, that pack's starting to build on the outside lane already, and Bradley Hawley has taken away quite a bit. We're going to go on board with Gregory Dice here.
A couple of drivers getting in the wall. Robert Basaw Jr. is one of them, right in front of Greg Dice there. You see Dice right tucked up under Robert Malikian. Sometimes he just gets so boxed in on any short track as the caution has come out.
Yes, that was Jason Hounshell that got spun by Nicholas Hunter, I believe.
Looks like on the back stretch, going into turn number 3. They were 4 wide going into turn 3, way down on the bottom. 0 of Hounshell just getting clipped there by the 109, looks like.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure this was intentional. I think Hounshell just lost a little bit of traction, and as we see as they come off the backstretch here, looks like Nicholas Hunter's going low, and he just packs in a little bit too deep and gets into Hounshell's left rear quarter panel, and that spins him around. It's really easy to do that here at Eldora.
Close call for Charles Sumner. Almost got his left side clobbered there by the tail end of the 00. He squeaks through there and avoids the wall as well. Good deal for him, just a 1 truck spin. And Adam, we're going to see a lot of damage build up on these trucks tonight. I have a feeling with the amount of contact that they can take, and really when it comes to aerodynamics, it takes a lot to hurt your truck here at Eldora.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of those things where it's more if your engine gets damaged, that's going to cause you problems around here in Eldora. The aerodynamics isn't really going to make that much of a difference. One thing that might make a difference is tow, but honestly, you can compensate for that pretty decently as well. So really, you just want to take care of your engine. Everything else kind of is moot. You know, before we went to caution there, Brandon Walter actually closed up right onto the back of Bradley Hawley and was challenging him for the lead as we were watching the mid-pack battlers. So I don't think this race is in the bag for Bradley Hawley, really, for sure. I think that Brandon Walter can really challenge him up front.
And we'll see how Brandon Walter does starting on the outside. That seemed to be the preferred line for Bradley Hawley at the beginning of this race. Pace truck about to pull off. 92 laps remain in the air, but a great jump for Bradley Hawley as Josh Daniels as well might be able to squeak up into second place if he can just slide up in front of that number 99 truck. He's going to be able to do that coming onto the backstretch, already heading down into turn number 3.
That was some great stuff. Take a look at Brandon Walter as he tries to go around the outside of that track. Man, look at how sideways these trucks are getting. I love watching racing here at Eldora. It's always exciting, always fascinating watching all the contact, all the different lines that people are taking. But that outside line really working for the top 3 right now.
Oh, and spinning back in the field. Caution has come out. That looks like it is Hunter
Hunter and Gregory Dice, yes, both of them.
Austin Hunter, two front runners of this. Got into the wall a little bit. Looks like it was just hard for Austin Hunter to gather it up, and unfortunately, as he was trying to gather it up, came down and kind of body slammed that's the 57 there of Greg Dice. They are both running well inside the top 10.
Yeah, Gregory Dice nowhere to go. He probably didn't even see it coming. Just the 312 of Austin Hunter struggling to get himself off the wall at the top. So that's going to be trouble. Let's take a look on board with Gregory Dice and see what he saw at the front of that windshield.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, just getting completely blindsided there. Running your own line, and not much you can do. That doesn't just go for dirt track racing. I'd say that's fair game at pretty much any short track. This is only a half-mile track here at Eldora.
Yeah, similar distance to Bristol and Martinsville. These shorter tracks are very difficult to keep your wits about you and really be able to have good visibility. And, you know, around Eldora, the speeds don't really get above 100 miles an hour. That's kind of where these trucks peak out. So even with that much damage, it's possible Gregory Dice might be able to carve his way up the field and still get a good point stay out of this.
And another benefit to that short track, very quick cautions. We're already about to go back racing. They'll be coming up to lap number 14. A new front row driver here. It's Josh Daniels on the outside, but as the green flag comes back out, look at Bradley Holly already get that good jump. And a good jump as well for Brandon Walter, who looks to be trying to take the inside away from Josh Daniels there, but he's going to actually get in the wall. A little bit of contact made. That's going to stack the whole field up.
And that's not necessarily a dirty thing to do. Oh my goodness! And I think Austin Hunter just went around. No, yes, Austin Hunter went around again.
He did, yes.
In the back of the field. As I was saying, Nick, that kind of a pass, not necessarily the worst thing in the world to do. It's not something you want to do this early, though. Yeah, Austin Hunter just trying to struggle with grip there, I think.
Looks like Braden Johnson was the one that got into the back of him, but I'm not sure that was Johnson's fault. I think Austin Hunter was pretty slow at that point, yeah. Hard to gather it up.
Yeah, Austin Hunter losing grip there and just struggling to get the power down. Yeah, the 77 just had nowhere to go. He was trying to power up the corner and keep his positions in a three-wide battle, and Austin Hunter just losing traction there.
As the cautions keep rolling, Bradley Holly's loving it. That's bonus points if he can lead the most laps in the race. He gets 1 bonus point for leading a lap, so he'll be going for both of them tonight.
Yeah, and you know who else is loving it? John LaBeouf. John LaBeouf starting in the 18th position. He's now up to 6th now. He's clawed his way forward quite a bit. And if he can get his way up to the front, it's possible he could challenge for the lead as well.
There was even some doubt if he was going to be allowed to race tonight with his dirt license not being high enough. So I'm sure he is loving this experience on the dirt. He's won at short tracks before in this series. That was at Martinsville, though. About to go green flag racing once again. They'll be coming up on lap number 18 out of 100. Almost a little bit of contact between Holly and Walter at the start here. I think there might have been as they came to the green flag out of turn 4, but regardless, Bradley Holly's going to jump into the lead either way.
Had as good of a jump as he wanted to, though.
Brandon Walter riding the wall right now. He's falling back significantly, trying to keep that truck under control, but he's just being swarmed by trucks passing him. Now Basaw going around him. He's off the podium already.
And they're almost 4 wide back farther in the back with these trucks racing around. These guys are struggling a lot to try and... Wow, it's just a complete gaggle back there for about 6th and 7th.
Might be a challenge for second position. Josh Daniels trying to fend off Robert Malikian, who's been consistently on that bottom groove tonight, but already Brandon Walters gathered himself back up. He's back battling with Malikian for third now.
Yeah, this battle for the second, third, fourth spots is really heating up. These drivers really starting to get a feel for it. Everyone's starting to get their feet under them now as the battle for, I think it's 6th. Yeah, it's been 3 wide for a couple of laps now between Jake Hounshell, John LaBath, and Jean-Francois Champagne. Champagne actually having to back out of it a little bit on that low groove, but John LaBath and Jake Hounshell really going at it here.
LaBath's going to have to slide up as well. That's where he seems to be faster. Behind them, that'll stack him up, though. 3 wide back there. Braden Johnson in a great view. A little bit of contact between Champagne and Francois Champagne and I'm not sure who else that was there. I think that was Rob
Brendan
Haynes.
Chatley and Colt. That was Brendan
Brendan
Chatley and
Chatley.
Colt Wayne. Yeah, Champagne either stuck on the bottom or he's just deciding to go to the back. He doesn't feel confident. I'm not sure which, but either way, he's just going backwards right now as all these guys zoom by him.
Another driver going backwards is Robert Malickian. He's gone up to that high groove, but he is not liking it up there. His truck not getting the traction he needs to, not rotating the corners because Jake Hounshell all over the back of him trying to take that top 5 position away. You see a little bit of right side contact with the 18. Wouldn't be surprised if he had found the wall a couple times.
Yeah, looking back from Robert Malickian at Jake Hounshell. Jake Hounshell's not getting great speed off of the corner. He's keeping his truck sliding as they get to the exit, and that's allowing Robert Malickian to pull away on the exits and allowing John LaBath behind him to close in as well.
Hounshell can't really find a way around him. He doesn't really want to go down to that bottom groove because he knows if he does that, he's probably going to lose that position to John LaBath. All he can kind of do right now is ride behind Malickian and keep the pressure on him. And you can see he is wheeling it off these corners.
We're going to take a look at the battle for P14. Charles Sumner just recently taking this, but man, it's just a complete gaggle back there. There's some serious contact between Mike Richter and Mitchell Clark. Those guys really battling it out back there for these lower positions.
Jason Hounshell trying to fight his way back up through the field. Another one is Greg Dice, who's on the bottom. Right on board here with Hounshell. That truck up there in the high groove is Mitchell Clark.
These guys duking it out. They're doing a really good job of holding it together, not having too much contact with each other as they try different lines and experiment with different things.
Mike Richter
wow.
holding that spot for 15th.
And Robert Bassett Jr. just had a major event, and he was battling Joshua Daniels and Brandon Walter for P2, and he just clobbered the wall exiting 3, and he's now significantly off the back of that battle. I don't know if it damaged him too much, but Brandon Walter has been challenging Joshua Daniels for a couple laps now. He's trying everything he can, getting up on that curve to really get it going, but the yellow's out.
Looking to see who here. I'm not seeing. Might have been Thomas Sink. Take a look here.
Yes, it was.
It was indeed Thomas Sink. Got down on the inside wall. The O2 of Jake Hounshell involved in this as well. Just a little bit. Assisted in some contact.
Yeah, Hounshell just exiting the corner, coming a little bit low, and Thomas Sink had a good run. Got up right next to him, and we see this quite a bit here at Eldora, where a truck will straighten out and another truck's right alongside him sideways, and those two hit each other, and that just sends Sink down to the inside wall.
Pretty significant hit there for the 48 of Thomas Sink. Hopefully that doesn't affect him too badly. Quite a bit of front end damage on his Chevy Silverado, though. So this is going to gather everyone back up to Bradley Holly. His lead that he had pulled away there is no more. He hasn't had a long enough green flag run to reach lap traffic yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if we saw that happen later on.
And that's where things are going to get really complicated for Bradley Holly, is when he has to start passing lap traffic, because that high line is really starting to show itself as the preferred line around here. And so if the lap traffic is taking that line as well and they don't move over for him, he's going to have to figure out somewhere to go. And that can allow folks like Joshua Daniels and Brandon Walter to close in.
Daniels started alongside of him once tonight. He's going to get a second shot at Holly here on the outside. He's going to be really aggressive here, I have a feeling. They're coming up to lap number 35 as the iRacing Pace truck about to pull off once again. Green flag back in the air, but look at Bradley Holly just extend that speed up into the high groove as soon as they reach the green flag. Just perfection from the 184 so far tonight.
He's been doing a really good job managing the gaps, managing his speed around here. Is definitely showing that he's got experience in the dirt. What does this guy not have experience in, honestly? But Josh, in his pace, has shown that he can get up there. So has Brandon Walter. So let's see whether these guys can do it on this run.
A bit of stack up back further through the field. Sixth on back is pretty tight right now. John LaBath trying to fend off Braden Johnson, Colton Lane, and Rob Haynes, and more behind them even. See, everyone now looks like to be trying to get that top groove. Not many people way down on the bottom towards the apron.
Yeah, those lower lanes really don't have any more dirt left to move on them, and so they're extremely loose down there. And so when they start to get up into the higher pack and the higher lanes, and they get that right rear into that pack, it really turns the car, allows you to put the power down. So we can see a lot of guys getting a lot of speed doing that. But man, Bradley Holly has opened up quite a gap at the front.
He has indeed. They battle behind him though. Josh Daniels way up there, followed by Brandon Walter in third. Robert Basaw Jr., despite significant contact with the wall earlier, he's back there in fourth as well. And Brandon Walter going down low, trying to make a pass. Josh Daniels finding a little bit of trouble as well.
Those two are struggling a little bit. Brandon Walter's trying to find a different line, trying to find speed, but it's not working for him. That's not allowing Robert Basaw Jr. to close in. He's going to go back to the high line, but it might be too late. Basaw Jr. down the low end. If he could get traction, and he does, he's going to try a pass down here.
That last couple of laps, Brandon Walter really threw the truck into the turns, and that hurt his speed and momentum, his turn off. That helped Robert Basaw Jr. capitalize on those mistakes, but at the same time, they're following Josh Daniels, who's really struggling with a loose truck right now, it looks like. So despite those mistakes, Walter continues to close in. He's almost back at his quarter panel.
Yeah, this truck setup is extremely loose for these guys. They're having a lot of looseness on throttle, and so it's not really gripping into the track that much, and these guys are having trouble. But man, Brandon Walter's really trying that low line. He's trying to make it work. He might even have an opportunity here at Joshua Daniels through these next set of turns.
Mitchell Clark has gone around as the caution is out once again. In the 42 truck, he's found contact with Mike Richter and Charles Sumner.
Wow, yeah, it was the 51 that really just kind of came straight down off the corner, really low, quite a bit into where Charles Sumner's line was, and that just caused that accident, I believe.
Yeah. First thought he got in the wall. Doesn't look to be the case. I think he just lost it. Gravity went down the hill with him into Charles Sumner, and he had nowhere to go but down into Mitchell Clark. In fact, Sumner actually, I think, got a lot more damage than Mitchell Clark there. Mitchell Clark did not find the inside wall. Charles Sumner definitely did. And the left front torn up on that truck.
Yeah, Sumner trying to do an over-under, and it looked like he was going to pull it off quite effectively, but then he just gets bit by Richter, really losing the rear end of the truck coming off the corner, and so that sends him into the wall, and now he's got some, like you said, significant damage.
Nearing the halfway point here at Eldora, round number 7 on the year. It has been the Bradley Holly show. You can see he's only gained 1 spot there. There's your hard chargers and your fast fallers. Braden Johnson moving up 15 spots.
Rob Payne's up 16 as well. These guys are really putting the work in. You can see who's raced these trucks around Eldora before.
Neither of them set qualifying times, but despite that, they are still moving forward. Green flag back out here at Eldora, and to no surprise, Bradley Holly's big jump. It's Brandon Walter, though, just squeezing up in front of Josh Daniels. It's actually going to squeeze him into the wall. They both find contact. Robert Malikian slides up almost into Robert Basaw Jr. More contact being made as they go down into 3 and 4. Daniels continues to ride that wall.
I guess Brandon Walter wanted second really badly because he forced it out of Joshua Daniels, who was struggling on the high side. And that's going to allow him to get second place, but Bradley Holly's got a clean truck. He's got no problems whatsoever, so as they keep going, it's battle for fourth position. It's 3 wide right now.
Malikian down low, Johnson in the middle, Daniels up high. Malikian's going to gain that spot, that bottom groove at least for now, over the 36 of Johnson. They slide more into a line. They're all kind of stuck right now behind Robert Basaw Jr., whose truck has really been swinging loose a lot more than others. Off the turns, he really seems to struggle. You can see him getting into the wall there, that right rear quarter panel, that deck lid really jacked up with all that damage.
Yeah, as we're talking about guys who are holding folks up, Jake Hounshell's really struggling on the high side right now. He's got an extremely loose truck and significant damage to it. He's really struggling in the P10 right now, trying to hold off Thomas Sink. He's going to get contact from Thomas Sink. Wow, they're really banging.
Zink had to force his way through. Remember, he was involved in an accident that brought out the caution earlier. He's fighting his way back up into the top 10 as we ride on board with the Jake Hounshell here. Now looking into the top 10, back in 11th.
Yeah, Jake Hounshell struggling on that high side to get traction off the corners. As you can see, he gets extremely sideways, and that's actually losing him speed through the corner. But he's starting to figure it out.
Further up, you can catch glimpses there of the battle for 4th place. That is Braden Johnson just pulling off a slide job around Joshua Daniels. Caution out once again.
It's Charles Sumner. Charles Sumner has gone around again.
Take a look here at what happened to Charles Sumner.
Alongside Mitchell Clark in the back. They're going to go around this corner. And I believe
Mitchell Clark and who's that? That's Jason Hounshell in the 00. That's what's going to spark this whole thing. That just a slight touch from Jason Hounshell to the back of Mitchell Clark, and that blockaded the track. Mitchell Clark actually going up on his side to the catch fence.
Yeah, that was significant contact from Mitchell Clark as he came up. And that was just another issue of a truck coming down off the corner quite significantly. Mitchell Clark trying to hold his line, and Jason Hounshell coming off the corner a little loose. He got down into that lane below the top, and that just allowed, wow, yeah, that just clips Mitchell Clark, and Charles Sumner with nowhere to go.
Charles Sumner's front end all beat up after that. You know, Adam, we haven't mentioned that just like any other race, this is a timed race here in the PRL. 55 minutes, and all these cautions that might get down to the wire, especially nearing lap number 60, but we'll keep an eye on it. We'll let you know as we get set to go green. Can Brandon Walter throw anything in turn 1 here with Bradley Holly leading? It doesn't look like it now. We go back racing. He's going to be able to clear Braden Johnson there for 3rd. A little bit of contact into the wall. That's Colton Lane saying hello to the top 4 positions with Robert Basaw Jr. right behind him. Daniels has continued to fall back.
And all these truck drivers realizing that top line's the best line. Brandon Walter really under challenge from Braden Johnson entering that corner. Braden had to back it off a little bit. But man, lots of trucks getting into collisions right now. The 07's gone around. He's collected the 18 as well. And that is the 59. Wow, there's just a lot of collisions right now. Brendan Chatley took some significant damage off of that.
That was the '07 of Josh Daniels coming down into the '18 of Robert Malikian, and that is what just kind of covered the track. The 21 of Adam Zemke was the one that actually ended up flipping the 18 of Malikian there. And then more insult to injury. The 00 of Jason Hounshell came along and got collected in that accident. Slight contact for Bob McFarland in the 1.
That's going to clear out a lot of trucks, Nick. That was a lot of front-end damage for a lot of these guys. These guys are going to have some significant damage. Malikian, nowhere to go. It just didn't know it was coming and just gets clipped and then just completely T-boned by the 59 of Brendan Shatley. That is some significant damage for all these trucks involved.
We can say goodbye to the motors of the 59 of Brendan Shatley and the 00 of Jason Hounshell, the ones that came along, like you said, T-bone them. As we take a look from Zemke's point of view here, you can already see how much the wheel has to be turned and just thrown into these turns. Nowhere to go there.
Eldora.
Looks like his motor is gone as well. So yeah, definitely cleared out a lot of fast trucks that were kind of stuck towards the back. Pace light's already off. Ready to go green on lap number 62. A significantly smaller field, but nonetheless, still a fast one. Here at Eldora, truck pulling off. Green flag back in the air. Bradley Hawley leads him to green. The 36 of Braden Johnson trying to get around Brandon Walter for second. Looks like he's going to be able to slide up in front of him and almost pinch him off there. Into the wall they go.
That was a fantastic move from Brandon Johnson just to stick his truck up there in front of Brandon Walter, take that position away. Now he's off chasing after Thomas Sink. Brandon Walter, though, is that there's significant challenge from the cars behind him. He's got Colton Lane and Robert Saw Jr. challenging each other for that fourth position. But man, Brandon Walter's gonna have some work to do to hold that third spot.
Walter's got it now, but he's trying to block 2 lanes. Robert Basal Jr. on the bottom, Colton Lane up top. You can see a big slide out of Brandon Walter's 99 machine. He's going to be able to hang on to it, though. Into the wall goes Colton Lane as well. That's Rob Haynes right behind him, kind of boxed in back there in 6th place.
Looks like Brandon Walter's got it down right now. Colton Lane's going to follow him through. And then Rob Haynes really trying to hold it on there on the outside, but he's got Robert Basal Jr. on the bottom end there. So these two are going to duke it out right now.
A couple of drivers trying to gather up from minor spins back in the field. We stay green, though. Don't look now, but Braden Johnson has not let Bradley Hawley get away too far compared to what we've seen before. He might just have something after all for the 184.
Yeah, that 77 painted number 36 truck of Braden Johnson really cooking it around the outside. He's really actually doing a really good job of holding pace right now. Bradley Hawley's got a little bit more finesse, but Braden Johnson just muscling his way around the outside, just holding that right rear part of the bumper right on the wall around these corners, really making good time.
Jean-Francois Champagne and Greg Dice getting involved in an incident here. Looks like Francois Champagne came down. We're right on board here with Greg Dice here. See what all unfolded.
Yeah, it looked like Champagne just lost it coming off the corner and was about to save it when Gregory Dice, trying to whoa up, just got into his left rear quarter panel, and that just put him into the wall. Unfortunate for Francois Champagne, and kind of a lucky break for Gregory Dice that he didn't get more damage out of that.
We've got 26 minutes left on the PRL clock here at Eldora. 32 laps left now. I think they should be good.
Yeah,
but this is going to be interesting, Adam. Brad Hawley's being joined alongside by the first time tonight by Braden Johnson, who looked pretty fast there. On top of that, though, he might get a better start on the outside.
Yeah, he had really good times in practice, challenging Bradley Hawley by just a couple of hundredths there. So he's got a good opportunity, but right now we only have 13 trucks on the lead lap, 14 trucks running. And so this is a reduced field. So the challenge of having those people, the lap traffic challenging Bradley Holly is not going to happen. So Braden Johnson's going to have to beat him on pace.
He's going to have to muscle his way around the top side like we saw on that last green flag run. And he didn't do it like you said. Brad Holly had a lot of finesse. Not as pretty on the outside, but we go racing. Already into the wall goes Johnson. Holly knew he had to go up there and pinch him off. He did just that, but Colton Lane also up there in third, getting around Brandon Walter.
He hit the wall a lot there coming off of that corner there, and so that allows Brandon Walter to get back underneath, and Brandon Walter's going to try and make this pass work, but if he's not careful, he's going to let Rob Haynes challenge it as well. But Colton Lane holding his weight really well on the top side.
Johnson trying to chase down Holly. I don't know if it's going to happen. But yeah, Colton Lane back here on the outside of Brandon Walter. Walter's been consistently a top 5 truck all night. I think it's just going to be a matter of where inside the top 5 he's able to finish. He's being forced to use that bottom groove, which he really hasn't liked. Big contact with the wall for Colton Lane there. He slides up right into him. Just barely stays off of him.
These drivers up here in the top 5 are really showing their grit right now. A lot of contact with the outside wall, because that's where the cushion is, right up there on the outside wall, less than a car length away, less than a tire length away, less than a bumper length away. These guys are really having to hang it out there on the hot side, on the right side.
Rob Haynes, he's been a quiet one tonight. Started back in 22nd, didn't set a qualifying time. He's back in 5th, watching this 2-truck battle unfold in front of him. Walter still trying to hang in there on the bottom. He's really struggling. You can see him just completely chuck the truck down in there.
Oh, and he might have chucked it too much.
Too much. He over-rotated just a little bit. He's going to lose that spot and probably lose another one here to Thomas Sink, who goes by him. He joins the top 5. Robert Massage Jr. going to be joining his battle as well. And into the wall goes Walter. This is going all downhill for him. Up into the top groove, contact for Robert Massage Jr. Now Massage Jr. trying to gather it up as he slides up the track.
Oh, he just barely saves it. That was really stressful moments for Massage Jr.
These guys just trying to hang on right now. Might be a little bit of lap traffic for Bradley Holly. He's got Bob McFarland in front of him. He's going to try to keep it down low here, but you do have a tendency to slide on dirt. I think he's going to be able to get by him cleanly. He lets him go.
Yeah,
Not
Holly
enough for Braden Johnson to close in. Yeah.
And we got a battle here between Rob Haynes and Thomas Sink. Thomas Sink really closing up onto the back of Rob Haynes for that 4th position. He's really challenging, just trying to hold it there on the high side. Thomas Sink is going to have to do something drastic here to make it by.
Yeah, Rob Haynes was behind him just for a moment a couple of laps ago. Thomas Sink, though, not able to take that position completely, as you see in the background, Brandon Walter into the wall again. He's trying to fend off Thaw Jr. for 6th.
As I say from the commentary stand a lot during these races, that right side is going to be used up by the time we get... Oh my goodness, Rob Haynes really, really loose, and he just manages to hang on to it just barely. Ton of spots. He's now back to the 8th position.
One small move like that will hurt your entire race. He's going to have 19 laps to try to get those spots back. They all work their way around Robert McFarland there, who is that slower truck on the inside. It forces these guys to go single file. Brandon Walter just got tagged, though, by Robert Massad Jr. and actually down into Bob McFarland. Like he just got off the gas for a moment, trying to catch it off the corner. And a driver who didn't get Robert Massad Jr. right behind him.
So I was expecting to get a good exit off of that corner and put his foot down, and that really caused Brandon Walter to spin around, getting that contact between on that left rear. Let's take it on board with Brandon Walter, see what happened.
Looks like he floated it a little bit. That'll do it. Too late in the race to give each other that much room here on the dirt.
Well, give Bradley Holly enough restarts and maybe, possibly, he'll spin his tires or something to give Braden Johnson a chance. But he was really walking away from Braden Johnson during that last run, up to about 3 seconds by the time the caution came out.
Bradley Holly going for his 5th win of the season tonight, out of the 7 that we've run so far. And he's won on all sorts of different tracks. We saw him win at Pocono last week. We've seen him win at Watkins Glen, a road course, short tracks, 1.5-mile tracks, super speedways. He's done it all. Now he's really been able to conquer the dirt this evening.
Doing a commanding job, and Braden Johnson's been trying to hang with him. He's the best challenger that's left out there right now with an undamaged, well, relatively undamaged truck. So let's see what he can do here on this.
What can Braden Johnson do? Green flag out in the air. It's going to be 14 laps to go. Racing here in Ohio. Johnson hanging on the outside. A couple of trucks further back. Something happened to the 48 of Thomas Sink. Did I hear his engine let loose?
You are 100% correct, Nick. His engine just let loose.
Wow.
That's not something we've seen in a lot.
Not at all. And Brandon Walter, who brought out the last caution, was the driver that just had to kind of drive through that carcass truck.
Just really struggling up there on the high side. All these trucks making so much contact, I guess he just hit the wall hard enough that it jarred something loose, and that engine just went kaboom.
89 laps in of hitting the wall and riding along the wall. There's a cord, a wire, a gasket, something about to break off and snap. One little bit of contact like that'll will do it. Just pushed it over the limit for the 48. I don't think anyone in this field loved that more than Braden Johnson, because he's going to get another chance at this lead on this next restart.
Yeah, we're now down to 11 trucks on the lead lap now with Thomas Sink. No, less than that, 10 trucks. We're really starting to whittle it down here. We've had a lot of attrition. We have at least 6, if not more like 9 trucks that have been lost their engines or gotten into accidents. So these guys, this feels really reduced from what we started.
10 trucks on the lead lap and 10 laps to go at Eldora. Coming to the green flag for possibly the final time tonight. It's a good start for Braden Johnson, but a good start as well for Bradley Holly. Johnson just trying to stick with him. He gets into the wall a little bit. Holly's going to try to once again extend that lead. Not able to do so yet. The 36 is sticking right behind him, but he's not close enough to get up there and touch him or make any contact or try to get around him. You can already see that gap slowly start to open up in favor of Brad Holly.
And behind them, we have another accident. Charles Sumner got into the back of Jean-Francois Champagne. That's also going to bring out the caution.
All right, this is the second seen Sumner and Champagne get together. Just kind of coincidentally.
Champagne was being extremely aggressive in his defense of his position during this restart, and I think it just kind of got the better of him. Charles Sumner was already committed to the corner when Champagne came down, and that just went into an accident. A racing incident for sure, not intentional by either person, but like, you know, this late in the race, I don't blame either of them.
Right. If you were trying to read the back end of Jean-Francois Champagne's truck there, it said, "It's pucker time." I feel like that's definitely what a lot of these drivers are feeling late in the race. And we will have green-white checkered attempts as well.
Yeah, to be honest, Nick, I forgot all about that. This could get really interesting.
Yeah, I think we might have some, don't want to say desperate moves here late in the race, but I think everyone's going to be trying to dethrone Bradley Holly here. I just don't know if they're going to have the speed to do it.
It's going to have to take a desperate move because Bradley's got the pace, so Braden's just going to have to fling it into a corner and hope he ends up ahead of Bradley Holly in order to make this win work. Bradley Holly's gotten the jump every single time on these restarts, hasn't yet made a mistake on a restart.
And don't forget about Colton Lane and Rob Haynes making up row 2. They're definitely contenders late in this thing. Maybe 5 laps to go, though. Not a green-white checkered attempt yet. Still racing in regulation. Green flag back out. Braden Johnson getting really feisty. Trying to get right up next to Bradley Holly. He just made slight contact with the wall, though. And the 184 is going to be able to pull away slightly.
They almost wrecked behind him in the back of the pack. Well, the back of the pack's down to 10th at this point. But yeah, these guys are getting really desperate in the back of the pack. But Braden Johnson really hanging with Bradley Holly this restart.
Caution out once again. It's Nicholas Hunter this time. Had a little contact from Mike Richter. Richter came down into him, it looks like.
These guys were battling for position, granted 1 lap down.
And Malikian also, it looks like, got a piece of this. This is going to tip the scales and send this to a green-white checkered finish. I think we have 3 attempts in this series. I think that's the normal. I think they follow the normal iRacing standard. They might have 2.
Yeah, with this new rule coming in just before the season started, the organizers didn't necessarily know what the best.
We're gonna have 1 actually.
1, okay. Well then.
Yeah, 1 shot at this. 1 shot at overtime. Caution comes out on the green flag lap. It's over.
It's Braden Johnson's 1 shot. He's got to do something here to try and get his way by Bradley Holly.
Probably not a bad idea for the league organizers to limit this to a 1 attempt.
No, I
But
think we're going.
pace lights are out. We're about to get set for 2 laps to go. At a maximum, that is. Can Bradley Holly hold on to what has been probably one of his most dominant performances in his career in this series? Green flag back in the air. Great start from Braden Johnson. To be able to get up there. Holly's not going to be able to clear him yet. He's going to slide up in front of him aggressively. Johnson's going to take it back down low. He starts losing traction. Colton Lane goes sideways back in the field. We stay green for now. Caution comes out. Bradley Holly's going to be your winner here at Eldora.
What a fascinating race this has been, and Bradley Holly dominated it from top to bottom. Lots of challengers behind him, some people who could keep up, but he did a really amazing job today.
He will bring it around here, being ushered by the iRacing Chevy Silverado pace truck. But it's going to be the clean, very untouched, looks like fresh off the lot truck of Bradley Holly, who for the 5th time in 7 races goes back to victory lane here in the PRL NASCAR Truck Series.
Yes, and just last time around, he took the checkered flag, so this race is now officially over, and Bradley Holly has come home with the victory.
That'll do it for the racing tonight, but not for the entire broadcast. Stick around as we go to break here, because we've got some driver interviews and a full race rundown as well to bring you late tonight. was a 43.5-minute race and 43.5 minutes of just sheer domination from Bradley Holly. He's going to extend his points lead. He takes his 5th win of the season. As we take a look at the race results, he comes home in front of a hard-charging Braden Johnson. Hats off to him, driving out of 20th position to finish in the top 2. Rob Haynes as well, a great drive up through the field to finish in 3rd. Robert Bassal Jr. had some trouble tonight, but who didn't? He's going to finish 4th with Jake Hounshell rounding out the top 5. Charles Sumner and Jean-Francois Champagne going to be there in 6th and 7th. Brandon Walter, Greg Dice, and Colton Lane will round out your top 10 and all of your lead lap trucks of this evening.
Starting first truck one left out rather, Mike Richter in the 11th position, followed by Nicholas Hunter in 12th, one lap down as well. Then we have everyone who had some serious problems tonight, starting with Thomas Sink in the 13th position, Robert McFarland coming home 14th, Robert Malicki in 15th, Adam Zemke 16th, Brendan Chatley 17th, 42 laps down, and Joshua Daniels, Jason Hounshell, and John Labath round out your top 20.
Well, there is your the top 20, but the 21st going to go back to Mitchell Clark and Austin Hunter in 22nd, and 3 did not start. Nicholas McGeethy, Justin Sick, and Will Rogers in the 25 car field we had before the race. With that being said, Brad Holly has won at 5 very different tracks this year. Super speedways like Pocono, road courses like Watkins Glen, Gateway, Kentucky, and now, Bradley, you've won on dirt.
Yes, sir. Very happy about it. I was getting nervous at the end of that race.
Yeah, Braden Johnson definitely put up a heck of a fight. Did you think he had something for you at the end, or do you think you were able to hold on to it through all of the restarts that we made you go through?
I mean, with some of my experience from dirt, I knew. Well, was confident. I didn't know, but I was confident I could definitely hold him off for the win.
Coming into tonight, you said you have some prior experience on dirt. Did you think of yourself as maybe a favorite to win this race, just like any other on the asphalt, or did you not really know what to expect in terms of other people's skills on the dirt?
I think I was one of the favorites, given some of my success from previous seasons in PRL, and then just from experience of slinging some dirt.
Yeah, absolutely. So I got to ask you, when it comes to dirt racing, what's the vehicle of choice? Is it the truck, the NASCAR truck, or is it sprint car, late model, something else?
Definitely sprint car. There's nothing more fun than sending one of those into a corner.
I agree. Lots of horsepower, lots of fun. I have a feeling in the next couple rounds we'll be talking to you again here in the booth at GSRC. But congratulations on your win tonight, and looks like you're setting yourself up for a nice championship run once again.
Thank you very much.
That was our race winner for the 5th time tonight, Bradley Holly, coming home there on top of the podium. Adam, though, you've caught hard-charging Braden Johnson, who just barely finished 2nd.
Yeah, Braden, you were right up there with Bradley Holly towards the end of that race on the last lap. Do you think you had something for him if that green-white checker would have gone through?
I would hope so. I was just trying my best to, time those restarts as good as I can because he was fast. I mean, when we had that long green run, I think he left 2 seconds or so. I mean, he had some speed.
Yeah, and wow, I mean, quite an impressive run from you throughout the race, actually climbing up 18 positions from P20 up to 2nd place. How'd you do it?
At first, I was like, I just need to survive, and then each caution, I tried my best because I knew they would eventually come, is to get myself into an even position so I could start on the out.
Well, fantastic job, and also very good for the points championship as well, getting some more points, closing up against Bradley Holly, maybe just a little bit. And is there anyone you want to thank tonight?
Yeah, I would like to thank FEG PC for building my computer. I'd like to thank y'all for putting on the broadcast. I'd like to thank my family for watching and being there for my race. I'd like to thank this league for putting it on, and congratulations to Bradley Holly.
Awesome. Well, thanks for talking to us tonight, and have a great one, Braden.
You too.
All right, that was Braden Johnson, and it looks like Nick, place runner Rob Haynes, our hard charger.
I have indeed. The driver, the Canadian, I didn't think you had dirt racing up there, but apparently you do because you showed some speed tonight, finishing on the podium.
Yeah, I think it's second or third time here at Eldora for me, so that was nice. I think part of it was keeping a clean truck coming through the pack, and that helped out.
Absolutely. Just talked to a couple drivers about their preference in the groove. Talk about the track changing, especially you saw it all starting in the back and really watching the race and evolve. The whole field trying to go up the groove. Was it better on the top side, bottom side? How did that all factor out in the race?
Yeah, I just tried to stay up top the whole time. That's where I'm comfortable, not banging the wall like some guys, but just maybe a couple feet lower and swinging the tail out there and trying to get a good run off the corners. Yeah, I think anybody who kind of hung around the low side ended up going backwards. So the high side was the place to be, and you had to hope for a guy to make a mistake. I mean, it's hard to dive in on a guy and hope to come out the other side. You just, it's hard here. There's no grip there once the trucks get running.
Absolutely. You came into this race sitting fourth in the championship points. I think you might be closer towards third. I'm not sure if you eclipsed that yet, but are you thinking about moving up in the points later on this year, or just with 3 races left, just going out there to race?
Yeah, I think just racing. This was a good finish for just coming in here. This is a wild card, so I'm happy with that, Nick. And yeah, I think I'll try and catch these guys the best I can as we head into these final races. But I'm proud with what I finished up here tonight. It was a good run for the seat.
It was indeed a nice, strong run for you and the team, and hopefully we get to talk to you again in the booth. Congratulations on your podium here at Eldora.
Appreciate it, Nick. Thanks very much.
That was once again Rob Haynes finishing third, and that's going to wrap up our portion of driver racing tonight here in Rossburg, Ohio. We want to give a special thank you to everyone who came out tonight for the 7th round in the PRL NASCAR Truck Series, especially everyone who helps in the organization and the behind-the-scenes logistics in the Precision Racing League. We also want to thank the Established Traffic Control once again for sponsoring tonight's race, and an additional thanks to all the amazing companies that provide the software and hardware that we use to create a GSRC production for you. We also, of course, want to thank the very talented June Lalonde, who provides our music. See the screen for more on how to get a hold of more of her great work. Thanks to the team tonight, Adam, Sean, and Dougie. Make sure you check out the GSRC on social media. You can do that at our website on Global SimRacing Channel.com, on Twitter at GSR Channel, on Facebook at Global SimRacing Channel, on Instagram at GSRC_Graham, and of course, hey, you're already at our YouTube channel, so scroll down just a touch, hit that big red subscribe button so you don't miss a second of racing. That's going to do it for the racing tonight here in the PRL, but the truckers will be back next Wednesday night for round 8. They'll be back on some more familiar turf as they head into the fast D-shaped oval up in Michigan. Points are still on the line for that championship, and you won't want to miss that. Finally, with all that being said, thank you so much for joining us for the show tonight. And until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.